record myself as I am going to create a page for buyers for my website. So I thought I would go ahead and just record myself as we figure it out together. So here we go. First thing I'm going to do, I'm inside a Bold Trail. I went to my webinar. I'm going to come over here to pages, and I like to start from scratch. There are a lot of different ones that you can choose from. I'm going to do a buyer's page. You could just click here and edit that. It already has graphics, and then you can copy and paste different information there. I do love those. I think they're beautiful. I'm just going to start from scratch, and let's go ahead and do this. So I'm going to go ahead and create custom page. Always go to advanced settings. So I am going to have to think of what I already have, what I don't have. So I'll just put buyers and we'll see. I'm going to, let's see if I have, you can see all the testing I do. I'm going to add a new category. I'm going to put buy, sell, and we'll see if it lets me do this. And I'm going to hit enter. So we have to add new category. If you created pages on the old content editor, you're not going to see those categories on the new editor. They don't talk to each other. So we just recreate them in the new editor, which gives us so many more things that we can do with it. So I just put buy, sell. We'll see if it lets me. I'll hit enter, and it is there. If you're a team or admin and you want this to go to the agents underneath you, your children, you would go add to child sites. That way your agents will inherit what you do. This is an individual site, so it won't matter. I don't have anybody underneath of me. And of course, you always want to put in that description, keywords, all for the sake of time. I'm going to go ahead and click save. Now I have the page. Now I have all this blank and all of these different settings that I can do. You could just drag and drop and build it. What I found is if I do that and I want to rearrange, it doesn't always do that great. So for me, I always go to rows. It's going to give a complete row. It allows me to maneuver those. I can change background colors. I feel I get a lot more advanced tools if I go to rows and drag and drop that way. So I'm just going to go ahead and start and just drag a couple blocks. I know I'm going to have 3 buttons, maybe 4. I'll do 3 right now. So I'm going to drag this because I know I'm going to have buttons in here somewhere. And let's see. So I'm going to add one more row because I'll have a title. I always use a space. I feel my text, if I don't add a spacer, really butts right up to the very top of the page. So I do personally use a little spacer in there. So I just come here, put a spacer at the very top. That way it doesn't butt right up to the navigation bar, especially if you have a black navigation, you've chosen that in your website settings or something. I like to have it a little bit of space there, so I just use that spacer. I know I'm going to put a title. I'm going to do a paragraph. I'm going to have buttons. And for me, because I like to change out the layout, the buttons automatically set up to whatever text, the size, the length of the button, the color, whatnot. It's going to be the size of the button, the text that you have in there. So I know I'm going to have like market report, and see how it stops right there. I like to personally come over here. This is where I'm going to add the URL. I change the option. So I simply make it auto and I make it full width. So it'll be the full width. And that way all of my buttons will be the same size and the background color. So I have my colors already in here for the most part, especially like the new colors. Once you add the color, and that's all in the trade standards if you're using Remax colors, once you add it in, it'll be here anytime you go to create a page. So I'm going to go ahead and just pick this dark blue, and I could make that all caps if I want. Because I already know like the size, if I want to change the font size, I have it full width. Instead of doing those steps again for these 2 buttons, I'm going to copy and copy. Don't worry, I'm just dragging and dropping my buttons over here, and then I'll change the name of them. To me, that's just the easiest way to go about it. Let's see here. This is buyer page. Oh, I want download my app. Download buyer guide. So now I have those. The default font is Railway. way. If I want to change that, I'm going to come over here to settings. So I could change each block. I want to change everything I do. I don't want to have to change each individual block. So you can come down here. You can change the background and a lot of the font, all of that. So here I'm just default font. I'm just going to choose. We have all these different options. I'm going to go ahead and choose that. So I'm going to put here, I'll do all caps, thinking of buying. Or I could do buying in your area. So we're going to get to that in just a moment. Here's a paragraph. So what I did, I went to Chat GPT and I just did a basic prompt. As Chat GPT gets to know you, you can build onto it. If it doesn't give you the results, you're like, well, I like that, but I really want this or that. And for the sake of time, I'm just going to kind of copy and paste. I pre-did this prompt. It's like, help me write a page about buying a home in Brevard County, Florida, also known as the Space Coast. I did a typo, but it knows me. And that's because locals may call it Space Coast. Florida tourism is going all in on the Space Coast tourism. So I know that's a huge keyword. So I want all of my content to have both for SEO purposes and just stuff like that. So it says, I want to include the basics of the home buying experience, what you expect, and maybe add in why setting up search alerts will be a good idea. Also have a buyer's guide that I want them to download. So this just gives me all sorts of really cool things. And I do like it broken down into sections. It's going to allow me, I can break it up with graphics or different items to kind of break up just all text on this page. I'm already adding those buttons, all that. So we're just going to go ahead and put this. So I do like that. Maybe I'll change that title. This is just a paragraph and I can copy it. So I can, this is a paragraph, so it is going to be a little different. I do like, maybe because I have old eyes, I like my font size to be 16. And I do change that line height to be 1.5. So it gives a little bit of extra space. I feel it's easier to read. Completely up to you, your website, all that fun stuff. So I am going to copy this and I can make it bigger so it'll take up more of that space. Now I have market report, download my app, buyer guide. This is a buyer's page. I do want to add in map search and relocation guide. So here I could break it up, add another 2 rows. Let's see. First thing I'm going to do, because I can add in a form. If we come over to form, you'll see it's not just all about forms and collecting information. We'll do that too. I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop this into this box. I'm going to go ahead and select form, and you'll see here it has simple search. This is the lead form. We'll get to that. This is a simple search. I want somebody to do a search on the buyer page. So I'm going to go ahead and add a simple search. And you can see these are the perimeters and everything that it has here. I can choose, you can see just a regular search, type serve, bedroom, bath, minimum, max. I can delete something if I don't want it. So I am going to delete the type so I can delete it. It'll make it a little bit bigger as far as that font goes. I can change this button. I can come over here, go down, text color, where's my little button right here. Again, and maybe I don't want that to be the dark blue. Maybe I want that to be bright blue so it sticks out a little bit. And I could change what it says there. I could change the background of this entire row if I wanted to as well. So if I want it to be white, I could do that, but there's also a lot of other things I can do. All right, so I'm going to come back over here to content, and I'm going to add a paragraph. And let's come back over here. And I don't know that I don't really use the emojis for my pages. I don't even know if they'll take. They probably will. All right, let's come back over here. Another paragraph. Let me move my face, and goodness gracious, it's big. I'll make that smaller. Oh my gosh, that is smaller. Okay, and paste. I'm going to go ahead and bold this. I could make it a title, but I would just need to bring a title over to be able to change that size. Otherwise, everything will change that's in this box. Oops. So Ooh, I have my caps on. So when I copied, I could have said copy or paste in plain text, and that would have removed all the formatting. But to me, it was a lot easier to be able to delete the rows instead of having to bold different things. Or if you want a bullet point, I would use the bullet point factor that content block. All right, so now I have this. I could also add in a little divider to kind of break things up. And I can click on it. Maybe I don't want it to go full width. Maybe I only want it to go half width. So I'll just hit enter and you'll see it just breaks it down. It won't be a full line across the entire page. It'll just be a little line. So now let's go ahead and content. Let's go ahead and drag and drop a paragraph. And I do have to have the buyer guide. I love buttons. I love adding that. Let's see, market report. We want to add in, got to add in a link here. So I know, and I have this hack in my little cheat sheet I have for you guys. I can add this. It'll always be my site. When I'm doing this on the admin level, team leader level, this is my hack. So all of my agents inherit the design I do. It's not going to take them back to the company or team site. They'll stay on their site. So that's to get the market report. Download my app, I know, is another little fun hack. Let's see. Make sure there's no space. Download my buyer guide. So this is typically I have a landing page, and that's the page I'm going to direct them to, is to be able to have a full landing page, download my guide, all of that. Or if you have, we could create a form which would prompt them to put in their information. To me, I'm all about building my pipeline. You know that. Anybody who's watched any of my classes, I like the forms. I like landing pages to get all that. So depending on how you're going to do that, you could always, I would highly recommend a form or building out a landing page. Building out a landing page would be my number one. And there's lots of different ways we can do that. I'm not sure if I even have one visible on my site right now, but that would be the link I'm going to create there. Or if you don't want to do that, you just want to offer it to them, or maybe you have a relocation guide. Relocation's my number one guide that gets downloaded from all the tracking I do from all the different offices. But if you just have anything in Google Drive, you don't want to create a landing page, I could just put the URL from my Dropbox or from Google Drive or just anywhere that you have that online settings. It needs to be a link. So usually someone would use a Dropbox link or a Google Drive shared link. So I have that here, just going straight to my Google Drive. It'll open it up on their computer. Again, highly recommend creating a form or a landing page. Take them over to that page. So now we have all these different things here. Let's see, what else does it give us? Setting up listing alerts. I have to figure out a link to be able to do that. So I'm not going to add this section in right now. Here is the buyer guide, so I can add this. Let's see, download. Let's see if the emoji goes. I'm not sure if it will. And I know I have the button here, but I can drag it down and then I can put something else there. All right, so content, paragraph, copy paste. And 16, gotta keep moving my little face. Let me just X that out. Okay. Boy, that makes it harder. All right, and again, I like mine 1.5. And I don't like that emoji there. I'm going to add that button. All right, so come back over here. Let me add a row. I am going to add 2 here. So I'm going to drag and drop this right here. And then I might have to move this over so I can get my full screen. And I just scroll down. There's buyer's guide. And I'm going to copy this, drag it over here, download. It's view. Let's see. View my relocation guide. So I know I already have these set up. And then again, I want to add a spacer. So I'm going to go back to row. I want to add a spacer down here. And Just add spacer. And I could have dragged and dropped. I just like using my little rows. That's what I do. All right, so that one we know goes to the buyer guide. I have my relocation guide. Let me see here. Resources, relocation guide. Okay. I don't know that I have it set up on my personal website right now, but this is going to the office where I do have one. So I am curious. Let's see if I have it online. I do. So obviously, so that's why I'm just going everything after my domain. And I'm going to go ahead and add that there. Perfect. So now I know I have those. I could definitely add in a form looking for information. And you see here, it's like, okay, I have market report, download my app. We have this search here, but I could, let's see what else. This one, it's fun doing the live class because I can ask your thoughts. Let's see, what do I have on this one here? So I can add another button. I have map search. So I'm going to go ahead and put in advanced. And then all I have to do is come back to my website, come back over here. I'm using the luxury template. I'm just going to click search homes, and it's taking me to that map search that I'm looking for. So again, I'm just going to copy, and I have advanced map search and paste. So I can get rid of my domain because it's automatically going to be there. So now you can see I have buying a home in Brevard. If I wanted to add a graphic, I could certainly do that. Here's market report, download my app, advanced map search. Here's front and center where they can do a map. I literally copied and pasted from what ChatGPT kind of wrote up for me. I will modify that. For me, it's just for inspiration. Definitely read through. Make it as personal as you can. It's just a great starting point. I am a better visual than a writer. So for me, ChatGPT is amazing because it gives me an idea where to start, and then I can go and edit and do all that fun stuff. So now I have this, and I'm going to publish it so we can view it, but I am going to go back and unhide it. But definitely if you're like, oh, I really want to add in a photo, I really want to add in a logo, you could come over here and just, let me move this over. I could move, see how right here, here's photo there. It's not letting me. Usually I can put it over on the side there, but it's not letting me. But again, I could come over to rows. When I'm building an agent or team site, I usually use this block. I'll put it right there because what I will do is I add in their image. So I can add in their logo in that little spot. I should have some images. Again, I can take this block. I'm going to put it right there in the paragraph. Come on. Okay, let's get rid of this little thingy. It's not wanting me to drag and drop into that block. And now I'm going to come over here. I want content. I'm going to drag and drop an image. I can go browse and let's see what images I may have. I could use that if I wanted to. Let's see, not much for that until I do websites. What was that for? It's the Space Coast. So kind of not really housing or anything like that. Here, I'll just go ahead and put that in there so we can see it. So you can see I could just add in a photo if you have your own. And then we're like, but wait, I have this block here. What do I do with it? Delete it, move it, do whatever you want with it. So I'm going to go ahead and publish it. And I want to view it so you can see what it looks like live. And there we go. So I love it because you can edit it, but see how that is white. The lines, like you can't really see, it's kind of weird looking. So I do, when I'm using this, I come over and select the entire big row. And then I'll come over here, row background color. And that's where I have these lighter colors. And I could make it, I can maneuver it around just so there's a little hint of color. I think it makes it easier to see it. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. And let me click over here and refresh. And see how now you can see what it is. And that's also why I got rid of that one, because then everything gets squished. and I want them to be able to select the area, but then bedroom, bath, minimum, max. So, and then they can do a search. But I have these different buttons. They don't necessarily pop. That one definitely pops. I'm definitely loving the newer ones. But then you have download my buyer guide. That should take you straight to the guide that was right from Google Drive. This one, relocation guide, is going to take them to my relocation guide. On this up here, market report. That's where somebody can just enter any city or anything. And then, let's see here. Download my app. Using that extension, it's going to take them to your app page. Somebody can enter their information. And then over here, advanced map search. It's going to take them straight to the map. So hopefully that helps. It doesn't take much. And of course, it's a great starting point. And you can always build onto it from there. You can easily go in there, edit any aspect that you want. It's a great starting point though. And it only took us 20 minutes. And I spoke while I did it. So hopefully that helps. And I'll be doing a seller page shortly. So stay tuned. But that's how you can completely create a page. Bye guys.